Good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the show tonight. It's Jaffa and my big mucker, Southside. How we doing, gentlemen?
Good evening, Ox. How you doing, mate? Glad to be here on a fine Tuesday night.
All right,
How we doing,
Ox?
Southside?
Aye, good, Ox. How are you, Jaffa? Good to be on the
Great,
night, and good evening to everyone listening in this evening.
Once again, for everybody here in Rangers Radio, can I just thank you, Southside, for looking after the big one?
Aye, got home safe, mate. He's home safe.
Yes.
Just this morning, Southside, they got home, aye.
Oh, here's too much information, Jaffa. No, I wasn't going to say that.
How are you, Jaffa?
Great. Ox, thanks, mate. Yep. Looking forward to the show.
Aye, good, mate, good. Obviously, with the game at the weekend, would be fair to say, as the fixtures of the season go and you bring out the DVD, I don't think that game will be on it. Jaffa.
Oh, what's the water like? Never seen this. The rain was bouffing, wasn't it? It was absolutely soaking. But listen, the boys, they put in the performance that was necessary. They got the job done. It would have been good to see them rattle a few more goals in, but I thought the 3 goals that we scored were well worked, and good to see a lot of the players that none of us predicted were going to start. Good to see Big Hollander get a goal. That was a great first 6 minutes for him.
I thought he started the game very well, mate, and carrying the ball and trying and getting into the opposition's half with the ball. I was quite pleased for the big man. I know we were only playing Barcelona, but for a guy come back from injury, I was quite pleased with the start of me, Jaffa.
Aye, exactly, Ox. There was a couple of real positives in the game. I thought Sakala had a decent game. I thought he was good.
Big question, did he mean it?
Well, it's one. I think he's no for me, mate. If you look at his eyes are across the box. He's looking across the penalty spot, isn't he? No for me. I think the wind got a hook at that one. The goalie's still standing waiting for it.
If he meant it, he's worth 100 million, isn't he?
Aye, absolutely. Aye. The goalies always get away, didn't they? Because if they know it's meant, they go for it, didn't they? For me, it was a bit of a fluke, but it was a brilliant goal still. It was a good few performances, and listen, the job's done. No major injuries or anything like that. So back up the road, and we had a good crowd down there as well, Ox. Especially what a horrible day it was. It was bogging.
Aye. Look, job done. It wasn't the greatest game. The conditions weren't fantastic. Southside, the park wasn't great. We got people with minutes in their legs, and the guys coming back in done okay. Yeah.
Aye, Ox, it was a training exercise once we got the 3 goals. You know, it was horrendous conditions. We noticed that in the wide in. But minutes in legs, Sands got a game and Sikowski got a game. Scott Wright come back in. Roof took his goal well and got more minutes in his legs. And I agree with Jaffa, and I'm sure you agree, Ox. It was a bit of a fluke with Sakalas. Aye, it was a good 45 minutes to get the job done, and then after that it was a matter if you nicked a goal or no. But the weather was absolutely stinking.
The last time I seen such a fluke with that was when Fox got that supermodels number in Stringfellows. I don't think he meant it either. He thought he was a taxi driver. But there we go. But I think it was a fluke. But if Fashion says he meant it. He meant it. You know what I mean? He's an honest lad, isn't he? He's infectious, Jaffa, isn't he?
Aye, he's very much so, Ox. Aye. That big smile, it's brilliant, isn't it, Ox? Magic. I could listen to that wee guy talk all day long. He's so infectious. And he's got the bug, and I think he's still got a lot to offer, Ox. I think he's got a lot to prove as well. He's still got a lot to develop in his game, and I think there's a big Rangers career ahead for the lad. I really do. All right,
okay, all right. I mean, he's just started, but we'll see. He scored a few goals, different kinds of goals. Definitely Saturdays was up there, Southside. Positive. What did you think of Ramsey, Southside?
I was at hospitality, mate. He wasn't bad. I think he wasn't bad. Aye,
was that watching the highlights back? Was it?
Aye, definitely. I thought the wee back heel when they took the goal, you know, that's something like Ramsey all day. He gets in the box, he scored goals like that for probably either Wales or Arsenal in the past, you know. I thought he looked busy, tried to move the ball quite quick, but it was the surface meeting the weather. The weather really killed it. I mean, for what we've seen in the first half and the type of football we played, I think we should be grateful, mate, because it was horrendous, you know, so... But aye, good minutes in his legs. Think he may be tired. Later on, he looked a wee bit tired, but apart from that, it looked promising, mate.
Jaffa?
Yeah, I think we started. I mean, as Susie said, once we got the 3 goals, Ox, I think the game was over. In fact, I would say the game was over after the first goal. To be honest with you, I don't think Annan were going to come back for that. So for me, the job done in the next round of the cup, and we move on, Ox.
No, simple as that. Right, can we put that game behind us?
Right, it's finished, gone.
Done, dusted.
I will say, by the way, I enjoyed the day with Big Stevie. It was a cracking day with mate, and I thoroughly enjoyed the company, you know, so it was a good day.
The big man's like Fashion Sakala, isn't he? He's infectious.
Oh, aye.
You know.
Had to keep him out of Greg's, but apart from that, he was all right.
All right, has he gave up that sponsorship, has he?
Oh, well, I don't know. I think you seen the size of the doorman. I was like, come on, get a rest and that, you know. Steak bake he wanted, you know, but I was like, come on, get a rest.
Steak bake, 3 apple turnovers.
That's his snack between dinner and lunchtime. But aye, some man. Great. Right, okay, so we moved on to yesterday, and I don't know if you heard the show last night. Of course, I know you never miss it when you're on the own. We talked quickly. We'll talk to you quickly. Obviously, it was the 10-year anniversary of what happened to our club in 2012. A question to you both. I'll say mature bears, guys who are over 35. Where are we now compared to where we were in 2012, in your opinion? I'll start with Jaffa and then go to Southside.
Well, it's that's a big question, Ox. Where are we now compared to 2012? Well, obviously, Ox, we're in a much better and a much healthier place now than where we were in 2012. But I will caveat that by saying that I still, in my opinion, in my words, in my humble opinion, I still think that what happened to our club was manufactured by the dark arts, and that's all I would say on it. That's my humble opinion. But we're in a far better place now. It's happened. I know it's happened. I'm accepting of it. It's happened. But that was tough times, Ox, for us all as a Rangers family. And the one final thing I would like to see in the aftermath of all, and I heard one of the guys last night saying that we're still not fully recovered, and I would probably agree with that. We're still not fully recovered, but moving forward, and as we pass the Rangers well-being or the Rangers brand onto the kids that are coming up behind us, so one thing that I would like to see is some form of article written into our constitution as a club that can never, ever, ever happen again. And that the fans, I know John Bennett talks about the 4 pillars of our club. Well, for me, the fan base are the foundation of the club. And for what our club, in actual fact, why we were put into administration on the 14th of February in 2012, which was for about 5 months, effectively, of non-payment of PAYE. We could have raised that overnight by a fan movement. We would have raised that funds overnight if we were allowed to do so, but we were never allowed to do so.
Yeah, there's a lot of wrongs to be written, and obviously, hopefully, time will come out. I read something today. It's cost the Scottish taxpayer upwards of £100 million. It's an absolute disgrace. And there was no need for anything to happen, you know. And I don't think they're finished with that ceiling. I agree with you. I think there's been dark arts at work. I think we'll get similar views on who that was, but we'll never be able to prove it at this moment in time. Southside, where are we for you?
We're a million miles better off now where we were then. I agree with you. We know who systematically tried to bring us down, and what it entailed. And as Jaffa said, as the PAYE was done, we could have raised that money and paid that. That wasn't a problem. But obviously, it falls into when David Murray gave it to Craig White,
Mm-hmm.
And also, I wouldn't let Martin Bain off scot-free either. Martin Bain, he was another one that got trousered some dough for certain deals, getting done. So he was another one. And then obviously you could get through them: Stockbridge, Ahmed, Green, Summers, Zeus Capital, he was another one, Hargreave Hall, I think, Armitius Investment, especially Blue Pitch Holdings, all these type of companies. In once Everton, they got their hands on us, it was just money just leaving the club, just asset stripping the club basically, as we know. Mm-hmm. We've seen it happen in front of your eyes, and the thing is when they take certain people to court, they can't even get it right, People should have been people should have been in jail cells now, doing time for what they done to our club. But where we are now, we've got the right people, the Rangers supporting majority of shareholders and directors that are in there, that are running our club now. We've got good investment coming in. We've had the deal with Castor coming in. We've got a lot of other companies trying to invest into us. We're back in Europe. And the best of all is we're the champions of Scotland. So at the moment, everything's positive. I still agree. I don't think we've still get things with Ashley in the background that we're still fighting off fires. But we're in a lot better place than we were way back then. A million times better, and it's great to see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. At the time, just quickly before we move on, because obviously we had a full show pretty much on it last night. What were your emotions? My particular memory was the raw pain, the hurt, and then anger quite quickly. Shaffer?
Similar, Rocks, in that respect. I was actually, when it happened, I was standing in the hospital with my father when it happened. When it was actually announced that it came on the news in the ward. I'll never forget, as you said last night, and I think we all as Rangers fans, it's your JFK moment, isn't it? You never forget where you were, when our club means so much.
I would say it's more a Bridgeman moment when he
But apologies to JFK, of course. You'll never forget where you were that moment when that happened. I have to say, the months prior to that, Ox, for its sins, my father actually warned me about Craig White and the involvements with him. So when you knew he was a wee bit, of the undesirable brigade when he was running businesses, and when he got announced that they were involved in Rangers, my dad couldn't believe it. I got to think back to those days, and he was so right. It turned out he was 100% right. But numbness, shock, despair, just absolute despair, because I couldn't believe what was happening in front of us, because it was so unnecessary. It didn't. And there was things going on. The media were playing parts. It was orchestrated, Ox. Let's not be kidding about it. You can't make something like that happen unless it be orchestrated. There was things going on, plans getting put into place, and media's getting involved, and everything getting triggered, and stuff getting leaked onto websites, and PAYE stuff getting leaked, and non-payment of. I mean, the one that always struck me was the non-payment of council tax bills. Not, that information leaking out of Glasgow City Council. When you think back to it, you can draw the dots together. You don't need to be a brain surgeon to work it all out what was happening. But it was horrible.
So say.
Yeah, I think it was more shock when it first broke, mate, and then disbelief, obviously, and then obviously you get anger, and then obviously when when things came to light, and then the first sort of shareholders meeting we go to, and you see the puppets in front of you, you know, and then you could tell, even, I remember going to the AGMs, and they were giving out figures, thousands, hundreds of thousands of pounds in fees. You know, at one point, I think it's more or less came up to close to 4 million. The time they said this one had to pay fees for this and that, and you're sitting there like going, you kidding me on? And then obviously, I think I heard somebody saying that they were out in their wee tent at Ibrox on the park and that. Mm-hmm. It was disgusting, mate. You know, all that to go through was disgusting, but at the time it was the shock and the disbelief, and just thought, nah, this will get sorted, obviously, you know. But we didn't expect the charlatans to get in that we thought would get in, you know. That was just the sad fact here. But like I say, we're back now, mate, and we're back with the right people in charge. And that's the thing going forward. And hopefully we'll not get ourselves into that position again. So with the right people guiding us, mate, and we talk about the pillars and that, and the right people, John Bennett, it's all positive, mate. So it's something we've got to look forward to, and we just keep putting our money in, supporting our club, and hopefully they'll do the right things going forward.
Okay, we'll have to move on like everybody else, so we have to move on. We've got a big game on Wednesday. We're talking about people trying to get there.
Thursday.
Sorry about that. Thursday. But next year we'll be playing on a Wednesday. I think somebody put it in. I read a thing today in one of the forums when somebody says we're going to play Borussia Dortmund, arguably the second top team in Germany. We're going there as Rangers champions, 10 years, Scottish champions, 10 years after what happened to us. Puts it all into perspective where we are now. And where we can get to if we can keep this improvement going. The sky's the limit. But big game. But some news broke today. Obviously, our CEO was on the media. Did you happen to catch any of that, chaps?
Hey, I haven't, Ox. I'm not going to lie. I didn't see it. Apologies. I'm not long in.
It was on the day, and the big thing it came out to was of all the things he talked about, the thing that is the most that away fans will be back in the Old Firm games. No numbers were mentioned, but everybody's assuming it's the 800. This is something that's going to, I would think, they've survived thoughts and people will take it differently. I'm going to start with Southside with this, Jaffer. I'll let you take the fifth on this one to start with. And Southside's he's just put his finger up at me. I don't think there was any need for that. Southside.
What do you want me to say? You want me to say that we're going to get into the Chamber of Secrets? And I would like to go back. The game's not the same. I mean, people will be sitting out there. This is just my opinion, right? A lot of people will say, well, I don't want to go up and give them money. I understand that. That's a fair point. And anybody doesn't want to go up there and give them their money, fair enough. Anybody doesn't want to go to any Scottish game and give them their money, I agree with that as well. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But the people on out there that travel, and I've heard other people saying you want the young team want to go and go up there and watch the team. So if we're getting supporters back in, mate, I'll go with that. It creates a better atmosphere. We've known the atmosphere growing up. You know what it's like, and it's horrible. I've been up there twice with the 800, and you've got to turn up at 10:30, and you've got to go into that stadium early, because they can't guarantee that you can go in any later than that, because you've got to get the whole of the London Road, maybe near home game. But when you're only 800 G's in there, it's a horrible atmosphere. But it was brilliant when you win, obviously. But it's just, you're that close to them. You're used to getting up there, and you've got the corner section and right round behind the goal, usually about 7,500. Been in it when it was 18,000 in the past, and the old terracing's not at 22,000, whatever it held. But I just find the atmosphere's changed. Good at Ibrox, aye. And people were saying, well, you don't want to hear them sing. Fair enough, but the Rangers Celtic game was always about the atmosphere coming from both sides, and that's the way I seen it, mate. So if we're getting supporters going back up there, then I'm quite happy with that, and hopefully I'll get a ticket.
Two things I'm in total agreement with you, in my opinion. It's not the same game. And I think that for us, a certain generation, to try and tell the young team that they can't have an opposition, a chance to sample something that we've done in the past, I don't think that's right. And the other things I also agree with people entitled to their opinion. Jaffer, I don't know what camp you sit in.
I've not been to Parkhead, I'm not going to lie, Ox, for probably 15 years. And I'll not get into the reasons why I don't go. It's just a personal reason. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you can all work it out. It didn't end well. But I quite like Ibrox without them in it. I'm not going to lie. I don't like them being there. I don't want to hear their bile. And I quite like that atmosphere. But I fully respect what Southside's saying, and I can totally accept that, and I can understand it, because I loved going to Parkhead as part of being in the younger gen when I was in that age group. I loved going to Parkhead. I did. It was one of my favourite away games of the season. So it's very much for me. I'm not going to say I would be anti it, the fans coming back and they get back to the 7,500 if that's the allocation. I wouldn't. I'm very much in the middle of the road on it, Ox. If it happens, fair enough. If it don't happen, then fine.
It seems to be a clamour that's coming from the other end of the city. They seem to need us more than we need them.
Well, I've heard some of the stuff just earlier on. This like later on the shows, the radio shows and the news shows with John Hartson clamouring for it, saying Rangers are doing their fans a disservice, and we're doing Celtic a disservice, and we're doing this one and that one. Sorry, I didn't mean for swearing there. But there's real. I believe there was reasons why that happened earlier on in the season, mainly down to COVID. Yeah. But they're sponsors. They want us more than we want them, Ox, and that's always been the case. But then we're number one, aren't we? So who doesn't want the champions?
All right, I think we'll get the phone lines open. I'm sure that some people have different points of view on this one, Jaffa.
I would like to think so.
Would you think, Southside?
Oh, aye, definitely. Jaffa, just a question, right? Do you go to other away games, mate?
No, I don't, Southside. I don't, mate. No.
Right, okay.
Only Ibrox for me. Except what I would say, Southside, I would go to European away games. Tickets prevailing. If I could get a hold of tickets, I would go to away European games.
I've got them four. I've got them four for the Ukraine. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Carry on, Southside.
I was just asking Jaffa. My take on it is people will come on and probably say, I don't let them in, right? But that isn't my issue. If you travel and you want to go and watch Rangers week in, week out, then the majority of people will want to go there. Some might not, but the majority will want to go because you follow your team. Mm-hmm. So I don't mind anybody coming on and having their opinion. Of course I do. I want to hear it. If you want to come on and tell me I'm talking rubbish, fine, come on and tell me. But my opinion
that's a whole separate show, bro.
Aye. But my opinion is most people that travel and go week in, week out would want to go there. And I have been at the AGMs in the past when they were calling to ban Celtic for Ibrox and all that. But at the end of the day, people that travel will want to go. And that's what I'm saying on it.
I mean, what about the argument for the I mean, we've both been there and when they put us in that corner and you've not got the greatest views and obviously they get better seats than we go, if you like, for viewing, etc., and building the atmosphere of the game. That's a valid argument, mate, eh?
Aye, mate. Aye. It's like I say, people have travelled. I've spent money going to watch Rangers for years, so I'll go. If I get a chance of a ticket, I'm going. And that's the way I see it. So, it's like Knox, right? You can go through the years. We're doing well now, we're filling out Ibrox. When we don't do so well, we don't fill out Ibrox. So, and if you look through the history of the years, you can see, get into the 80s and back into the 70s and that, you'll see it. But they knew we're doing well and we're filling our stadium. But I'm just saying the atmosphere is certainly different from where it used to be. It's definitely not the same. It's not the same when you've got 800 bears up there. Aye, we're singing our hearts out. And aye, it's great when we battered them up there in Cottage, you scored the winner. We're in there celebrating and all that. There's nothing better than being up there and battering them at their own midden. What a feeling that is. So, but everybody will have their own opinion, mate.
Of course. Talking about somebody who's got an opinion, and I think he's got his nights mixed up because this is Tuesday, no Wednesday. We've been joined by old Davy. Evening, Davy.
Good evening, boys. How are we? Jaffa, doing suicide?
Listen, Davy,
Hi, Davy.
I'm no one for casting aspersions in people's character, and obviously Valentine's sent anonymously, but Linda got a big heart-shaped box of Maltesers, and there was none in it. Can you help us?
Yeah, I'm not guilty. I liked that one. I heard you saying it. It was fabulous. I was actually saying to that gorgeous young lady that does the phone.
Gorgeous young lady. Oh, okay.
She's telling me she writes your script. I said, well, you do a good job, sweetheart. You do a good job. Anyway, to the serious stuff, I was listening last night, and I was going to come on, but that goes too much for me. That I was just, maybe it's because I'm an old buddy and went on and seen great days, and then that happened, and I just don't like really talking about it. Because
no, we couldn't shy away from it, Davey.
Well, no, definitely, but it just hurts me. If you can understand that, it just hurts me when you look back in Sandy Jardine and all that, and everything we went through. You'll never ever get to the bottom of that. So you get a bit of scuff. I know what you mean about talking about it. Totally agree, but it just was too much for me. But what I was going to ask you guys tonight was, it's a bit of a hypothetical question I'm going to ask you. Now, we're talking about if we win the league, i.e. we win the league, what it involves financially. Now, this is just hypothetical. What's the scenario if that does not materialise? Have we got a problem?
No, not at all. But listen, David, I'll come back to your point. We've been joined by Thomas, who wants to come
Sorry, I didn't realise. Sorry.
No problem, Thomas. How you doing, mate? Nice to speak to you.
I'm okay, likewise, guys. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there. I just answered the phone saying hello. I didn't know that.
No,
it's all right, Thomas.
No, don't worry. In fact, don't worry, but it was only old Davey. Right, so he knows I'm only kidding. Look, Thomas, first time caller. I believe you've got something you want to say, mate. Get it off your chest on you.
Well, no, it's like my third time on.
All right, sorry, mate. Sorry.
But aye. No, I didn't want to interrupt your man there talking, so he can carry on, and then I'll whenever you need me.
All right, okay, carry on, Davey.
What? No, that's okay. I'm finished.
To you. We'll come back to Davey's point about the Champions League. Can you go, Thomas? The floor's yours.
No, it was really because everybody had been talking about away fans and whatnot. One of as much as I love Ibrox being full, like with the John Collin, with the 1-1 draw that we had back in the day, it was pure outstanding. But I think that the Celtic fans at the place that they play at, they kind of helped them beat us the other week there.
All right,
so I think it's a very partisan thing to do, and I think that maybe like away fans should always be allowed into a ground, unless obviously there's a danger of sort of violence or something. Then it's kind of a part of football, Like away fans should be allowed. Scotland, England. Whatever the game is, like it's like massive matches, Liverpool, Man U, or Liverpool, Everton, and it takes something away from the games. And everybody has a valid point or opinion, but I just think it takes away from the game if you don't have any away supporters in any ground, to be honest.
Jaffa?
Yeah, I can hear. I can see your opinion there, Thomas. I wouldn't disagree with that at all. Both are always away supporters, being as partisan as we are. We all like to rib each other up and sing more songs at each other. None more so than us in that lot. We've both got very colourful songbooks, so it's good to stick it up now and again. I don't disagree with that, but I have to say, during the period in the painful period, the last 10 years, watching them, and particularly when we came back in 2016 back into the league, and obviously our team was at a very, strength-wise, was nothing compared to the team that they had in the park, and they were beating us for fun, and sitting through those 5-1s and 4-1s and 5-0s and stuff was really, really painful stuff. And I guess when we got the opportunity to ban them, and when Rangers started on the up, when we started flexing a bit of our own muscle back, that's exactly what I saw it as. I saw it as Rangers flexing a bit of muscle and sticking them in the corner and basically getting one over them. And I agree with you. It does work. And their fans did play a part in them beating us last week, or the other week there. They did. But our team were rubbish on the night, I have to say. We were brutal on the night. But it did help. It did help. Their fans were right up for it. As were we back in August when we beat them 1-0. We were right up for it, and we turned them over as well. So it goes both ways.
Yeah, I've got to completely agree with you. It's quite a sticky wicket that we're on, because now that it's been set up as this, it's difficult to come out of it. And who's going to come out of it? And do either side really want away fans? Really, I was having an argument. Well, not an argument, but a debate, let's call it, with a guy on Facebook. It was a Celtic fan. And he was like, they're needing our money. And I was like, maybe we could sell out Ibrox twice for the upcoming Old Firm game. We don't need to have stewards in between you and us. It's crazy talk what you're coming out with here, you dumbass. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I just prefer the idea, as you said, the banter and everything it just makes for a more hostile, awesome atmosphere. It's different.
Yeah, I think South Side, and then we'll go back to Davy's point. Yeah.
I agree. I think it's good you get fans into other stadiums. Obviously, I don't agree with Celtic Blues away the other night with their supporters. I think maybe when you come out the tunnel, they made a bit of noise. They don't score in 4 minutes. They were loud, but I don't think that was the reason. It was your setup and everything that went along with that done it. And I've been up there in the Chamber of Secrets, what I've said before, with 20,800 or else the 7,500, and we've been beat. So it's no end. There was nothing about them blowing us away with their supporters. I'm not getting that. Well, but I agree that I just think it's good for people that travel, mate. If people travel and want to go and watch Rangers, then getting tickets for up there, I'll probably keep a lot of bears happy, because there's nothing better when you beat them up there in the rain midden.
Therefore, I think I didn't actually mean that it was the fans. It was the main reason that they won, by the way, because obviously we were really poor on the day. But I think it helped. Was kind of the point I was trying to make. I think
the only thing is they get premier seating. They get sitting right behind your goal because of the way we've got to accommodate them if we give them the stone. Like the newbie can stick them in the corner. And I agree. Up there, and just if you're stuck in that corner and there's a pylon coming down and that, and it goes right in the middle of their goal, I get everything that people are going to come on and argue about. They get better seats in the view that we get the game and all that. But the issue is, does it take away from the atmosphere? In my opinion, it does. Whether you want to listen to them or no, Jaffa, and it's the same thing, mate. Over the years, when we're scudding them, they'll sit and listen to us, and sometimes, unfortunately, when they've been battering us, we've got to sometimes get at half them. That's the way it's been for over 100 years, mate. So I don't see why there's a big clamour about, I don't want to listen to them giving me pelters. To me, that's part and parcel of it, what makes that game, the atmosphere.
I've just been sent a text here. So say you're totally worried. Big Stevie enjoyed the hospitality that much. He's got you two, him and you, for Parkhead the next game. Right, okay. Look, I think we all agree it's not the same game. I think we all agree that that there's a time and a place for everything, and it's got to be done fairly. And I think that was a lot of the people's the cry, the Broomy Bears. You know, if you were buying a season ticket back in the day and you were going in a crowd and then all of a sudden you struggled to get a ticket for the biggest game of the season, was it the right way to treat your customer base? They obviously are quite happy to give us 8,000 tickets because there is a clamour for it. But everybody's got different opinions. Davey, and then back to Thomas.
Yeah, I know where you're coming through regarding the crowds, but I mean, all right, on the night, we just didn't turn up. And whether we had 5,000-10,000 there, I don't think that would have made a difference. We had nearly 35,000 plus at Hampden against Hibs. It didn't do us any good there, did it?
That's true, mate.
That's really
good point. Good point. I never thought I'd say this, but good point, well made, Davey.
Well, if your team's good enough, you should be able to go there and get stuck into them. We didn't.
Just come back to Davey's point when he came on, Jaffa. This Champions League, obviously, you're more likely to get automatic qualification if everything goes your way. I don't think it's 100% certain, but I think looks pretty likely. I would need to get the research department and shut that out. But you've still got a chance of qualifying if you finish second. So no, everything's gone. But some of the things you're reading on social media ain't true. Our club's in a good footing. Jaffa.
Oh, Davey, you've got to believe me when I tell you this, and when other Rangers fans and guys that they know they kind of know a bit more about the financial picture in our club, and the guys at the power that be, Davey, are telling you everything's fine. Trust me, everything's fine. There's nothing to worry about, and getting automatic promotion to the Champions League isn't even within our budget as a football club. We don't even budget for it. So it's a bonus is what I'm trying to say. It would be a great bonus getting 25 or 30 million pounds. In fact, just recently, I think Stuart Robertson, there was an interview on one of the Rangers channels on Rangers TV, stated that it wasn't even 30 million. It was probably closer to 20 million for Champions League automatic promotion, automatic entrance. So the 30 million, and then all of a sudden now that they're back with a point clear on top of the league. I see the media up here are running 40 million now. It's not worth that. That's not true. That's just their compliant media coming out with the kind of buzzwords that they think their compliant media and their fan base wants to hear. Our club is in a very good financial footing, Davey, and there's no concerns whatsoever. I'm not saying that things are, we've just sold Nathan Patterson. That was a great bit of business. We've got some brilliant assets in our playing pool. And if the club wish to try and trade any of them in the summertime, which I suspect there probably will be, there won't be anything to be concerned about.
We are numbers men, Jaffa, aren't we?
Well, we'll try to be.
We are. We discuss it quite a lot, don't we? Occasionally when we have a chat, we discuss
we
numbers.
Do, mate. We do.
It's something we look at the numbers. It's not a passion that everybody's got, but we do. Southside, I know it's not your thing, but we're moving to a better footing every 6 months, aren't we? What? Is he there? What was no Southside?
Sorry, mate, I was on mute.
That's all right. They call that a bridge, man. He done it right away last night. Started the show.
Did he?
Intro.
Did he? Right, it's that. Oh, brilliant. Hey, what did you ask there? We were talking about it.
I know numbers isn't really your thing, mate.
No.
As far as balance sheets and all that's concerned, you've got a different passion, but our club's getting in a better footing every 6 months.
Aye. Well, I mean, it's like somebody writing you a cheque, Jaffa. If we get a cheque wrote for 25 million, then it's a bonus into the business, isn't it? That's what we're looking at, and we're looking for that cash injection. But the directors seem to have been carrying it forward. We're getting fresh investment, and they're carrying the club forward. But Davey, I think it would be. I think we need it. I'd say we need it more than we don't need it, because it's going to help boost the business. So it is a big year for us, and we've got to win the league, Davey. So it will be a good cash injection as long as we win the league.
Yeah, but that was what I was trying to emphasise about. We've got to. Have we got to? I know financially what you're saying, but when you put it, we've got to. That means if we don't, something's going to happen. That's what I'm trying to point out to everybody.
No, but
I don't believe that.
It would give your rivals income above and beyond yours to invest in their team. That's the reason why we've got to. If you're looking at it as a 2-horse race.
Yeah, definitely. But I must say, the Japper, his words there were absolutely outstanding.
Oh,
absolutely.
David, don't tell him.
No, but that's what everybody. That's the things that you need to get clarified and clear, because when you hear people coming on, everybody's starting to hit a panic button, and I don't think there's any need for that. That's what the point I'm trying to put over.
No, I know that for a fact. James Bisgrove's working to get Maltesers on his sponsorship somewhere, Davey, you know.
Thomas,
that'll be a celebration, Davey.
Oh, see what you done there.
I heard the ripple flying through you there.
The tumbleweed.
Right, come on, we're talking about our club here.
But that was great words. That was really reassuring. That's what I feel it's badly needed. The club should be emphasising that and reassuring everybody, because when Sue says we have to win, we must win. I know where it's coming from here, but I don't. It's not the end and the end. That's the way I'm thinking.
No, but you would give your rival big springboard. It's no the be all and end all. Aye. Right, okay. Thomas, any thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I think was it David? David was just speaking. I think David's right. I think there's almost a. Sorry.
Oh. Carry on, Thomas, and we'll come. Carry on, mate.
I think there's a wee bit too much pressure getting put on this. I was reading. I don't know how true it is, and I've not. I just before I called, actually, I just tuned in. But apparently there's a few complications that might happen that means that we don't get direct qualification.
And who wins what, and somebody wins the Champions League.
Juve, Man U, and things like that. So it's starting to seem to me like they've changed the goalposts, and that's why they opened up a Conference League so they could just bam us off. I don't know why they think. And I'm not. I'm talking about us in particular. Why they don't think Rangers can't or shouldn't be in the Champions League? Seeing as essentially we were in the very first one ever created, and pretty much without the bribery scandal, which turned out to be real, we would have been in the final with AC Milan. So I think too much pressure is getting put on this whole situation right now for a situation that we're not 100% sure of. All we've got to concentrate on is the next game, which is against Borussia Dortmund. And then after that, then the next game, and then the next game. And then by the end of that, I'm fairly sure, positive in fact, that Rangers will be top of the league. And should whatever UEFA decide in their eternal wisdom or lack of to do, then we'll have to just take whatever's given. But a Champions League should be exactly.
I think the limitations will be the coefficients for. There would need to be some freak results in it, and for us to miss out. But it could happen. It could happen.
All right. Okay, I see. So it's kind of far beyond. Right.
It could happen.
It was like the scaremongering that was going on. I was reading that. I was like,
then all the difference would be we'd have to qualify. Anyway, we've been joined. I think he's just left us. I've just got to Jason. He was with us. But it could happen. But we've just got to do the business on the park. Come what may, Jaffa.
I saw that. I mean, it's like the old adage in football, isn't it? Win your matches and see where it takes you. And if we're playing against Borussia Dortmund on Thursday night. What Southside said at the opening part of the show there was absolutely brilliant. 10 years ago, look where we are, and look where we are on Thursday night. Arguably, Germany's second biggest team. one of the biggest European stadiums in Europe, and the famous Glasgow Rangers are rocking up there on Thursday night, and that's for me. That's as good as it gets, and I think we've done tremendously well to get to that stage. If the Champions League comes along, guys, it comes along. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Going out and winning the league every year and winning cups and competing in Europe is all that matters. It would be great to get into the Champions League, but it's not the be all and end all.
Welcome to Gift Gas voicemail. The person you're...
Right.
See, I slightly disagree, Jaffa. I think we do need the Champions League money. No, season ticket money and that doesn't cut it. You need to get into Europe, and the Champions League gives you the most money. And Davey, it is imperative that we win the league. We're Rangers. We've got to win the league. There's always going to be a pressure on us. So pressure is on to win this league because we've flung away stupid points. But we missed out in Champions League money last year, probably. So it is where you want to be. So, and I think it does help the club go forward, and we can attract better players and give you a better salary or whatever, Davey. So I think we do need to take it into the Champions League, but first and foremost,
it's not to be all and end all, though, Southside.
Well, it's not that probably, but it's a better help than it is than a hindrance. If it's no, you can get by with Europa League money, I suppose, if you're in the Europa League, Jaffa. Mm-hmm. But Champions League's where the gravy is,
Oh, I wouldn't disagree with that.
Don't mention gravy, Port better be on.
Oh, aye.
Aye, look, I think your preference is to be in the Champions League and slowly start competing. Obviously, you can finish third and then you go to Europa and you start competing in that because of the way they've orchestrated European football. Personally, I don't know if it's a way to go, but it's the way it is and we just have to deal with it. But look, we have to win games on the football park, Tommy, and that's all we have to do is keep winning games, innit? Thomas, sorry.
I know, Tommy, sound bro, that's what people normally call me. Yeah, essentially that's what we've got to do. Like, Thursday is going to be a massive match, and I really fancy our chances. It's probably because I'm a Rangers fan and I'm eternally optimistic about how we can do and what we can achieve. And I really think that we can maybe get a wee 1-0 or maybe a 2-1 or something over there to bring back the Ibrox. Obviously, there's no more away goals malarkey, so which kind of puts us. I don't know, if we win away, it kind of puts us at a disadvantage. But because this is a proper good side that we're playing, none of us, not one of us, are under any disillusions about how good this side are. But I really think the side that we've got right now are more than capable of beating Dortmund. Like, I really do. I think it's happening. In regards to further Champions League, I just think we could compete. Honestly, I think we've got a strong enough base now that we could compete. It's just the idea of having to play qualifiers so early in a season when so many other teams, and this might sound like an excuse, but actually, when you think that a team's like 12, 15, 16 games into their season, and you all you've done is a pre-season and this is your first competitive game, then you're going to struggle regardless of who you are or where you're playing. Like, and that's where we've been set up the last goodness knows how long. You know what I mean?
Maybe if you had a long qualifying period, it might help you. But if we beat Dortmund home and away, we might need to worry about the domestic league south side. We might go in as winners of the Europa.
Aye, well, at least get us into another trip and another round, then it'd be good to see another team come to Ibrox after Borussia Dortmund, and it also helps the board and the club get extra money. It's like Jaffa when you say it's no imperative. See, like sponsorship deals and stuff when you're playing in the Champions League. No, you pay more money to get advertisements and stuff. So I do think we need that, especially when we win the league. I'm not worrying about how far we get in it. It just to get back in it and play amongst the elite for being out so long. I seen something just the other day, 9 years ago, give or take, round about the now, we were playing Clyde in the following week, which when we go to play Borussia Dortmund at Ibrox, we were playing Berwick Rangers 9 years ago. And now as champions, we're going to play Borussia Dortmund in the quarter-finals of the Europa League.
To be fair, I think that we are, even the Europa League is playing against the elite lads. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Borussia Dortmund are an elite side. Like,
I agree with that, mate. They're one of the biggest teams in Europe.
Yeah,
because of where they come from. Germany's a massive country, and they've got loyal and passionate fans. They're a big club, arguably the second biggest club in Germany. I think that's fair, Jaffa.
Yep. No, I wouldn't disagree with what Southside said there about we do need it. I would like it as well. I want to play in the Champions League, but I would, in my opinion, I would say what's more important is player trading. That'll probably get you more money into the club than what the Champions League will. That would be my opinion. And I think that's been proved that already with Nathan Patterson. So the more the club moves forward, it's just part of the cycle. Trading players.
What about doing the two? If you then get assets who have played in the Champions League and done okay?
Even better. Better.
I'm greedy. I'm like Stevie at hospitality. You know. Right, okay. We've been joined by Bob Chair. Evening, Bob Chair.
Hi, Ox. How you doing?
All right, mate.
I believe the conversation tonight has been dominated with the game. The the game on Thursday.
Well,
that Borussia Dortmund.
That Maltesers.
I'm up for a Malteser if you got one. They melt in my hands, I can tell you. Just like a lot of women did in my young day. Borussia. I'm on my granny. Borussia Dortmund, one of Germany's biggest clubs, fastest growing club, a huge club. Well, we have a hell of a pedigree, and this is a tough cookie on Thursday night. We all know that. I hear the boys saying there that they think they can go by them. Well, it's good to be optimistic. Why you be pessimistic? Well, Rangers, we're going to give them a hard game, but we've got a bit of history against them. We've eliminated them out of Europe twice, you know.
We've played them a few times, mate. One of our earliest adventures in Europe. I think Tommy's the optimistic one at the fours. I think the rest is think hopefully will compete. Is that fair?
Well,
Tommy, any comment?
To be honest, I genuinely do. See, when we're playing on our day, like, I know that we've got to get rid of the old firm nonsense because that was a nonsense. That was not. Obviously, the gaffer had told them this is not acceptable at this football club. And since then, fair dues. Well, we planted Hearts. Hibs were kind of easy. And I don't mean that we're on the same level. Like, we couldn't join into the Bundesliga and straight away be better than Dortmund. But on a two-match circumstance, I genuinely think that we can give them a game or at least beat them. I'm not even joking. I really think we can beat them.
No,
that's optimistic, I grant you.
Listen, mate, I don't want to. I think you're fantastic that you're being optimistic. I think Southside, you were making the point there, mate. He's got a right to be optimistic because it ain't Clyde and it ain't Berwick Rangers, Southside.
Aye, here, listen, we know it's a big task, and they're a good team, but we're going to hear them, we're going to face them, and all we need to do is go out here and play solid and keep it tight and maybe hopefully nick a goal, get a draw with days, get them back at Ibrox, because I think that would suit us with the crowd at Ibrox, and I believe Oxford giving them a fair crowd, fair amount to come out. I think we're giving them a corner plus a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be a tough game. I'll be honest, and this is my honest opinion. See if we were playing the football in Europe that we're playing under Stevie G, that system, I'd be a wee bit more confident the more than I am the now the way Gio set us up. But that's just my own opinion. And I know he never really took charge much in the last game in Europe and that, but I'm just looking at it as in obviously the Lyon game, but I'm just I'd have been more optimistic, I think, in the system we used to play it quite tight. In Europe we were brilliant against teams the majority of the times. So I'm a wee bit worried in the way that Gio sets us up. That's my only worry in the Ops.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've played them 3 times in Europe, Ops.
I'm just coming. Can I just come back to you, Bob? We've been joined by Jason. Evening, Jason. How we doing, mate?
All right, Ox. How's things?
Good, mate. Good to speak to you. First time on the show, mate.
First time on the show, mate. Aye, yeah. Never Trek.
That's all right, mate. Don't you worry about it, yeah?
I was talking to the boss about 5 minutes ago.
All right. Was she very pleasant towards you?
She was nice. She was a wee star, to be honest.
I've heard her called a lot of things, but never nice.
No, she was nice. So, I was listening to you earlier on, and you were talking about the fans at the Old Firm game,
Yes.
Ibrox,
Yes.
the Chamber of Secrets and that.
Yep.
So I was dying to phone in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I phoned in and I was listening, you were talking about the Dortmund game and all that, right? And my bottle crashed. Do you know what I mean?
Is that because old Davy's in?
It could be, mate. It could be. Right. And then the boss phoned me back 10, 15 minutes ago, you know.
What was the point you wanted to make about the tickets, the Old Firm game, mate? The floor's yours, yeah?
Well, I'm kind of old enough to remember being at the Chamber of Secrets when we had, I don't know, what was it, 8,000, maybe a bit more than that. And then they had the Brumlin at Ibrox.
Yep.
They, with 7,500, 8,000 fans, you can influence the ref. So, like I said, with my age and that, right, I'm lucky enough to be at fucking Parkhead, and I've seen Haley score a double and the 4-2 and all that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact they know that they're not in Ibrox, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But I feel sorry for all the young boys that maybe never get to experience it, because I don't know if it'll ever change. I don't know if you'll ever get back to them having the Brumlin, 7,500, 8,000. I don't know if you'll get back to having 8,000, 9,000 at Chamber of Secrets, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so...
That's a big thing. The young team... The young team of
the
generation, yeah. Is it fair on them? I fully understand that argument. But also, no, you're entitled to your view that you think Ibrox is better without them.
I love it without them. See, a couple of years ago when Ryan Jack scored that goal for the 1-0.
Uh-huh.
See, that day, that'll live with me forever, Ox. I'll be honest, mate.
They were there in that corner, mate, that day.
I know, they were in that corner, but that was something for me. Maybe because it broke a thing, you know, the time we hadn't beat them in that.
Aye.
But I don't want them back in Ibrox, mate, to be honest.
Okay, Southside.
Aye, you're entitled to your opinion, mate, you know. I know, listen, people can go and you're taking away for Rangers supporters getting tickets for Ibrox and all that and stuff. If it goes back to 800, then it'll get back to 800. And that's the way I see it. If I get a chance to get a ticket, if they're letting us in up there, then anybody that travels, mate, if you go to other games and you travel and you follow Rangers, you'll have a different opinion for somebody just sitting there that doesn't go to games or doesn't travel and say, nah, I don't want them in Ibrox. Entitled to your opinion, 100%. But if you're not travelling week in, week out, then they're the games that you want to go to, because you want to go there, and when you beat them, there's no better feeling, as you said.
Southside, mate, I go to some away games, right? And I would sell my soul to go to Parkhead. Do you know what I mean? They're coming to Ibrox next, and then we're going there, right? Out of these next 11, 12 games in the league. I would sell my soul to go to Parkhead, mate. But I just like the fact that they can't influence the refs so much when they're stuck in that wee corner.
What's your language, mate?
Right, Jason, we're going to have a tune now, so get yourself a mute, and we're going to have a tune.
to Barcelona, the Rangers for to see. And when we reached the stadium, our hearts filled up with glee. There were so many Scotsmen all ready for the fray. You should have heard old Derry's voice when the Rangers won the day. Oh, Barcelona, oh, don't you cry for me. For the Dynamo, they scored 2 goals, but the Rangers, they scored 3. When inside the stadium, the likes I'd never seen. All around the terraces, they sang of College State. The best centre forward that's in the world today. And when he scored his wonder goal, the tears were on their way. Oh, Barcelona, oh, don't you cry for me. For the Dynamo, they scored 2 goals, but the Rangers, they scored 3. The flags and scarves were flying high when Wally Johnston scored. And when he scored the second goal, the Ibrox fans they roared. John Clegg, the captain, went up to us their prize. The European Cup Winners' Cup was right before our eyes. Oh, Barcelona, oh, don't you cry for me. For the Dynamo, they scored 2 goals, but the Rangers, they scored 3. 100,000 Rangers fans thronged the Glasgow streets. And inside old Ibrox Park, you couldn't get a seat. The Glasgow Rangers had won their famous game. The year was 1972 in the very month of May. Oh, Barcelona, oh, don't you cry for me. For the Dynamo, they scored 2 goals, but the Rangers, they scored 3.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
All right, talking about gentlemen. We've been joined by Alex Fabershaw. Evening, Alex.
Good evening, Ox here. Southside, Jaffa, Bob Jer, Old Davey.
Evening, Alex.
I don't know who else is there, but good evening, everybody, anyway. Hope you're all keeping fine, lads.
Good, mate. Good. Tip-top.
All right.
The floor's yours, Alex.
Well, I'm going to agree with Southside there. 100% about away fans, right? I go to the away games myself, albeit I'll not be back in Celtic Park. That's my own opinion of it. But my boys and all them, they all go, and they're desperate to get back, so I'm kind of glad it's come out, even if it's 800, but young guys are wanting back to 7,500. They travel everywhere. We go Europe, we do the full lot, and it's for the young Rangers supporters who be thinking about here. That's my take on it.
I mean, me and Bridge have debated this often on the show, Alec. I think, yeah, you know, we talk about maybe people have said in the past we should go to away games, we should boycott. But that's all right if you don't go, because you're not sacrificing anything, is it?
Absolutely. You look forward to it. That's part of it, following the Rangers. We've all had our chance at doing it, Oxshire. So these young guys are desperate to get there. And
exactly.
That's how it is, and that's what we've got to look after. Because that's the lifeblood of the club now.
Aye, they're going to have the kids and they're going to be kicking the next generation of Rangers supporters, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, the other thing about the
how do we deal with Alec with the family section, the young kids in our ground? If we went back to the way it was before.
This is a problem we've got, because the Broom Loan, I'd take to be a member at the Broom Loan, and you have to give your tick up again for the Old Firm. I honestly don't know how they're going to do it, whether it's just going to be 100 put in the corner. But that gets me back to Celtic Park. And Southside's been there umpteen times and all. You're stuck in that corner, and it's absolutely dreadful. It's restricted view. I've been right at the end, and it's just been the stewards that separated us, and they're throwing 50 pences at one another. That's the bit you don't hear about. Then you're getting back home to the game, and you're turning and saying, I hope I video of the game, because you're spending your time looking about through the supporters throwing coins at each other. That's the dreadful thing about it. You're stuck up there and it's away out. I wouldn't mind, I know it, to give us a full ending that again. I know it'll never happen, but that's what I mean. Celtic Park, get in there, 20,000 years, behind that, would you call it Rangers End? And that's, to me, what we should be. We should be right behind that goal. And if it's got to separate the Green Brigade and what they've got to do there, because stuck up there's a no-go for me. But I'm only talking what I think. The young supporters don't see it that way. They're not caring as long as they get into that game.
I get it, mate. I get it. I think you've got to look after the young at all ages. So we've got the problem with the young bears in the Broomloan stand, and we've got the young bears who are slightly different ages, Jaffa, who are starting to follow the team all over the country. Oh, Jaffa. Oh, he's not doing a Bridgeman. Southside.
Aye, Alex, I think even for us to get Mera up there, you're always still going to have that corner. You know, there's nothing they can do about it. But like you said, the young team want to go. People that go week in, week out will want to go. And like you said, when you went in with 800, Alex, you go with 12 seats or something like that along, and then you've got a steward, and then you're sitting right next to him, you know. You're fenced in that wee bit. But I just think you want the atmosphere back. But how you do it? If it's only 800, it's 800. I don't see it going back to giving them the full Broomloan. I don't know how we would change that because of the season ticket situation we've got and the amount of people that want to get into Ibrox. But I'll be happy if it goes back to the 800, and I'll take my chances for there to start with. And then the extra will be a bonus.
I think that's a brilliant point, what you guys have just pointed out, that the season ticket holders are, I mean, what are they meant to do? Like, buy another ticket for a game that they've already got a season ticket for? It's a difficult scenario.
There's no receipts to get in, mate, if the rest of the ground's full of season ticket holders.
Exactly.
You know?
That's the whole point. Aye, it's a difficult one. It really is.
Aye. It's a conundrum. Isn't it, David? Yeah. It's a conundrum.
Did I need to GTF for other people to get on here, by the way, guys?
No.
All right, okay.
No.
That's a nice one. I like that GTF one.
Don't take it personally, David.
You've never heard me swearing, but I'm Alec and Suicide and that regarding. You need fans at the matches. Well, I don't think we'll ever go back to the Broomloan being full of that lot, and we'll just need to get where we are. And it's not exactly what you would say is a good viewing point, but we still need the two set of supporters. I would stick to the two corners. I know that maybe not please everybody, but at least some of the guys will get there.
All right. Yeah. Aye. Well, everybody sees it slightly different, and I get it. I'm actually I lean towards Alec. Your argument, mate. I tell you. Not that my opinion matters, but I'm just saying I lean towards you and Southside's argument, because I don't know how you deal with these young boys who just want to go and watch the Rangers, you know, like myself, you know.
These kids, they'll follow the Rangers everywhere, right? We've got them all over the world. But basically here, even about the area, they're wanting to go. That's all you hear about. Tickets for all farm game. When's it coming back? Then they get announced there. They're going to come back 800. They're quite happy with that. Then you get other ones and they're wanting it back to 7,500. But they're not thinking about the Rangers supporters and the Broomloan standard season tickets. I certainly, if I was sitting there, I wouldn't be giving my seat up. That's the one game you want to see every year. You're going to vacate your seat. It's So that's not going to happen. I don't know how they're going to do it, but if it's 800, it's 800, and they'll just ballot the tickets to the ones that want to go. But you definitely need supporters in there. As I say, that game a week Wednesday there, don't get me wrong, I don't support the Rangers supporters in there when it made any difference with the game, but you still want to go and support your team. And this is what it's about. You just follow them. As the song goes, near and far, the streets be broad and narrow. That's what we do, for the love of the club. And that's what the Rangers supporter is.
Alex, it's easy for people that don't go to say, I just do this and just do that, you know, but I respect everybody's opinion. But like you say, when you're going week in, week out to away games to watch Rangers, because as the song says, follow, right? Some ways can, some ways can't. I understand people are further away and all that. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying for the vast majority that want to follow Rangers home and away, then it's a good thing if you're getting tickets to go up there for the people that want to go. That's what I'm saying. And it's certainly the atmosphere is not the same, Alex, as it was when you've got the 7.5, because that's what it's been since it reduced for the 20-odd thousand back in the day, you know. So it detracts certainly for the atmosphere, I think.
Bob Chair, any thoughts?
Well, I'm one of the old school who used to stand in an old concrete stadium, in the old stadium, and watch 20,000 of them at the other end, and likewise they did that at Park. You'd exchange dates. You're an all-seater stadium with season ticket holders, and it's just a classic case. You can't please some of the people. You can't please all of the people all the time, and some of the people some of the time. Either all the, as Alec quite rightly says, all these young teams want to go and watch the Gers every week as they do, the lifeblood of the club, as you commented. But that's the juncture we're at, where we're only going to get a corner of Parkhead and they're only got a corner of Ibrox, and that's that. Ballot the tickets and on we go. If you're going to see an all-important game, well, I'll just let you be at your own stadium. You're not going to ask anybody to gear up. You're not going to ask anybody to gear up their seat and gear up their season
ticket. Exactly. Well, see, this is where this is a whole problem. I mean, how much do you allocate away fans for on a game-by-game basis? And how many do you allow to have season tickets? For instance, we could have 40,000 season tickets.
I've got a solution. It's just came to me. I know I'm very intelligent beasties, and you know it's unfortunate for you, but I've got a solution outside. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. On you go.
Right. Okay. We go and win the league this year. We get in the Champions League. We win the league next year, and they'll be crying out to give 10,000 seats for their stadium. How's that grab you? What do you think? That work for you?
I'll take that. I would take that.
What's your language, Jason?
It sounds awesome to me, but the problem still lies. How many away tickets do we give?
I know. We've no got it, so we can't give it. That's the answer for me.
Exactly. Yeah, likewise. Yeah.
Okay. I think we've been joined by the one and only, and I say the one and only, the singer from Denver. How are we doing, Denver?
Oh, if we only had the Rangers over here. How we doing, guys? Everything's good there?
Good, mate. Good.
Good. I've not spoke to you for a while, but I was in the frozen northwest corner of Colorado in a place called Craig, Colorado in the last couple of weeks. Minus 32 degrees. Whoa, a wee bit chilly.
So you had to wear a tank top, Denver, eh?
I had to pull it out. I had to go with a tank top. No,
long johns.
Aye. Thermal long johns off you can plug in.
What's on your mind?
Anyway, so I was going to talk. You know, I spoke to you recently about moving the blue order. The blue order. What do you call the boys that did it?
The Union Bears.
Union Bears. And I still maintain, we should move the boys out of that corner where the away fans are, and move the away fans into the corner where the Union Bears are. And we can do it, if you can build a tunnel under the channel. You can get there, man. It's no bother. There's nothing we can't do, and we don't need to see them, and we make up for bring everybody into the atmosphere with their boys, moving them out a bit. I think that's the way to go.
I think if we can build a tunnel under the stadium, we can make the stadium a 20,000 more than we've got.
Right, I'm up for that. I'm up for that.
I think that's a problem. For a lot of the time, our stadium's no big enough. But if we're also on the south side, for a lot of the games, because of weather and all that, there's some empty seats there. It's full every week. South side. Then Jaffa is back with us. You've no got to. That's a problem you don't need to solve it.
No, I think with Denver, when you're talking about moving the Union Bears and that, it's not a priority for anything like that. I don't think. I think the main thing that Rangers should be looking at is the disabled section and getting that sorted out first and foremost. And if you're sitting down the front at Ibrox, you're getting absolutely drenched and all that, you know. So I think
where are the disabled folks? Where do they sit in the stadium?
Pretty much the edge of the enclosure, Denver, at the far end.
All right, okay.
Terrible, mate. There should be something that's glassed, that should be fronted, and they should be able to see in comfort, mate. I'm not being flippant. They deserve it. Southside, then Jaffa. Jaffa, I'm going to bring you in after Southside because I know this is something very close to your heart, mate. Jaffa.
Aye, mate. It was brought up. It's been brought up the last 5 AGMs. The guy's got up. I can't remember the boy's name, but he spoke to Mr. Robertson again, and he actually says to him this year, he said, what we'll do is, he said, if you two gentlemen will meet me in the Albion car park, he says, and I'll bring 2 wheelchairs. He says, and what we'll do is we'll go for the Albion car park to Ibrox Stadium, and I'll let you see my journey. Every Saturday I'm attending a home game at Ibrox. So I'd imagine it's not the best to get across the roads and that. They're all busy and the roads aren't the greatest round about there. So it's something I think it's long overdue, mate. I don't know how we solve it, but there's got to be something. I think you could maybe put them in a box somewhere up at one of the restaurants possibly or in the corner. I don't know how it would work with hospitality, but he mentioned that. So Stuart Robertson said that it's going to make it a priority for the supporters in the disabled section to get far better facilities. So hopefully that will happen sooner than later, mate.
Jaffa?
I think they had that Southside. I heard them. I think Douglas Park commented on that as well and said just what you've just said there. It was a top end sorting out the disabled facilities at Ibrox. Both the bathrooms and as well, Denver. They're not great. I use that area myself, so it's challenging, mate. It's challenging, but there's been a lot of other bigger jobs, I guess, of repairing our club than even that, and I guess it's just one of those tick lists that things are now creeping up to the top. But there certainly needs some engineering. Some fine engineering hands as to how they're going to solve it, because obviously lifts and so forth, because of the age of our stadium and the front end of it.
Engineers, there's a thing we never had a problem with in the past. Surely we can solve that riddle, you know what I mean? You know, bit of gaffer tape. Off we go, but aye, it should be brought. Let's assume for Denver's point that has been solved, Jaffa, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And we've solved that, and rightly so. So we're moving on to look to what we can do with the Union Bears. I don't think it's the first time it's been mentioned that if we were going back to the way it was at Ibrox, with certain people getting tickets, if that was to come about, because maybe the stadium was bigger, that their tickets would be in a different part of the ground, i.e. at the Celtic end, the main stand, stroke enclosure, stroke club deck. Yeah, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's where they used to be. Remember the away fans, the Celtic end. It was the old West enclosure.
Yeah, well, they had that, plus they had to down to go as well, to the Celtic end.
That's right.
Aye.
That all depends, Ox, and how this whole debate pans out and how the club debate, not just our club, but both clubs see how they're going to solve it. Because it's up to the two clubs to get together and figure out a way. Because obviously you hear Alex talking about where the Rangers fans are positioned, and it's not ideal at Parkhead down in that corner. But I don't see how they could even move the away fans from that corner. I mean, they've re-engineered their stadium so that away fans only come in that area of the ground. So it's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. I don't know the answer to that one. I'm not going to lie. It's not something I even have that much. My opinion probably wouldn't matter that much.
It is on here, Jaffa. You're not in the house.
I missed that. What was that?
Jaffa.
Aye.
The thing about if you keep it 800 fans, right, is it's manageable, easy. They just put you in about 10:30 for a 12 o'clock kickoff.
That's brutal.
And I take it they've got to do that vice versa with them, But the twice or the three times, whatever it is, we've been up there with 800. The only thing is when you come out that stadium and you've got to walk down that Springfield Road, and there's no many walking down there. So it's no great, but
I've seen videos of that on YouTube. Southside, it doesn't look good at all, mate.
Sometimes it doesn't look good. Sometimes it turns in your favour. So it's like anything in it, mate. But like I say, you'll no move with that corner now. That because they got to bring you in, and the same at Ibrox. If you don't give them the whole broom one, you can't really go down and put them in the east enclosure or the west enclosure, because then you've got fans coming into the main stand and all that, and then you have Rangers fans in the broom one. So the corner, they can shut it off and bring them in out that stupid wee car park across the road and walk them right in with the big barriers up and put them into the corner.
And there's a third agency involved.
That barriers you said there, outside,
Aye.
Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't,
I was going to say something else, but I'll leave it out.
And then the cops have got a big say in all of this, haven't they? The police decide who decides what in all of this.
Aye, of course. Right, listen, Jason, last point, we've got some more callers coming in. I hope you didn't find it too strenuous for your first time, and I hope the boss was nice to you, mate.
No danger, mate. Cheers.
Right, look after yourself and join us soon. It's not that hard, is it?
It's cool, mate. All good.
Well, cheers, mate.
Pal.
Look after yourself.
Cheers, pal.
Thomas, in you come, make these your last point.
Okay. Let me think. Our point is essentially about away fans now again.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe give them the corner that we give away fans during European or any other games. Other than that, until next season, we can't really let our fans down and start giving away season tickets for seat spaces. So until next season, this is how it's going to have to roll. Give them the amount of away ground that we maybe give to Hearts. At the Broom On, at the corner of Broom On.
Oh.
Hello?
Carry on, mate. Carry on.
Was something again? What's going on there? Opening a packet just or something. Anyway, at the corner of Broom On, just give them that wee area underneath the screen and just let that be what it is. Until we can come up with something between both clubs, because really it's a nonsense. But I don't. If we can get like 42,000 season ticket holders, then we don't necessarily need their income or anything about them.
So no, I don't think it's about income, mate. It's about atmosphere and obviously.
Well, no, atmosphere 100%. Well, that was my earlier point. That it takes away from the game without having opposition fans, 100%. But you can't remove people that have bought season tickets for seats to let in away fans. You know what I mean?
Okay, mate. Good to speak to you, Tommy. You look after
Likewise, guys.
All right. Speak to you soon, brother. All right.
Much love. We are the people.
We are the people. Right, I've been saying this point. Here's one that's going to put this debate in. I'm going to go with Alec for Wishaw with this one, yeah? Right? This just came from Dumanokin, our mate Dumanokin, one of the good guys.
Right.
He says what about you make the Grunge 50-50 split and season tickets get one game out the two? Both Grunge. There's an idea.
No. I've seen that, what do you call it, maybe a cup tie, and we're fatigued. We've played Celtic and they get the Govan stand. They go to the Govan stand and we beat them in the cup tie. That's one of the reasons you get that Scottish cup tie away back. You gave so much of the ground. The fatigue, half the season tickets up, and then what do you call it, go back to the next game? Nah, that'll never happen. See, the thing about it is, although we all support the club, we get a bit selfish on it. Because the guys there in the Broomloan stand, they're entitled to get to the game as much as I'm entitled to get the game up the other end. This is what it's about. It's before Rangers had put season tickets out to these guys. That's when Celtic were really allocated the Broomloan. And now Rangers has got the vast amount of season tickets now. And these guys have picked the seats up quite right. So they're entitled to be at the game. And the only way is for to give them that wee corner. I was just trying to explain personally with me about Celtic Park in that corner, the restricted view we've got, which to me is a nonsense, right? But I agree, although maybe I'll not go, there'll be another 7,000 Rangers fans wanting tickets. There's no problem. These young guys are desperate to get to the game. I'm glad we call it, they've announced it today. There's so many opposition fans getting back.
Anyway, we've been joined by Domanoc. Yeah, how we doing, Domanoc? Evening.
Ox, I'm going to sign out, mate. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Bob J. Speak to you soon, mate.
Take care, lads. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Bob J.
Bob.
Bob J.
As I say, just throwing an idea out there. I know the Broomloan Road it used to be the Waynes, wasn't it? It used to get moved and not allowed to go to the Old Firm games, know what I mean?
Aye.
And I did quite like the idea of giving them that wee corner as well. Because they put us in the corner, didn't they? Hiding us away, you know what I mean? If anything, it should be a percentage rather than 7,000 and 7,000, whatever it is. It should be, no, we're getting a whole stand, and you just get a whole stand, and that's it. You know what I mean? If they're a whole stand, odds 10,000, and yours is only 8, well, too bad. You know what I mean? It's for the spectacle, isn't it? If that's what they want to argue about. But I think a 50-50's a good one to throw out there, you know what I mean?
I don't think it'll happen.
Can you imagine that? I know it would never happen, but can you imagine the atmosphere? 4 games a season?
Can you imagine Southside if we didn't have a ticket?
Marlon, we'll just keep it with 800. I'm doing all right to that, you know.
Oh, me and Big Stevie's life would be hell if he didn't have a ticket. He did. Oh, I can just imagine it. Aye, but I get your point for the spectacle, because it's definitely, I think we've all agreed, Domanoc, it's definitely not the same game, yeah?
Aye. So see, I don't like to see the mutants with their IRA nonsense, know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Aye.
Another bio, know what I mean?
Aye.
We can get as good as we get as well, know what I mean? When we go there, but it's just all that terrorist nonsense that they support. I'm not, you know what I mean?
No, I'm not a fan either. You know, but look, it's a good debate, and we knew this would come tonight when that statement was made today, Jaffa. We're trying to do the right thing for our club, but we're also trying to be sensible about the future, the fixture, and the selling point of the game. Jaffa? Oh, I lost Jaffa again. Back to Southside. It's obviously the selling point of the game, and you wonder if the TV companies might have anything to say on it.
Aye, it's like everybody's got their own preference, mate, you know. The fact that we're getting 800, then if that's what it's going to be for the next wee while, that's what it's going to be, you know, so we'll just take it. And anybody, like I say, that wants to go and watch the Rangers home and away, I'll be glad that we're going to get some supporters in the stadium. And it's the same on Thursday night, mate, at Dortmund. There's loads of bears out there that have got 500 or 750 tickets for Thursday night. You can see the clamour for everybody wanting to go. People that travel in Europe, who's done a lot of trips, want to go. So it's good come Thursday night that we'll have bears in that stadium. And that's what I'm looking forward to as well on Thursday night.
Yeah, we played Dortmund 8 times Southside. Only lost to them once.
Aye, 8 times. I remember what 1995 one, 96.
3 wins, 4 draws, 1 defeat.
I was there in 95, 96, and I think it was a penalty one. I think that was maybe 2001 or something, or 2000, I can't remember. But the one at 95, 96, that was the one that was freezing, man. Absolutely freezing. Coldest ever. Aye, I think Cloudrup and him that never scored against Celtic. Jury, aye.
And McCall gets sent off, or Gaza gets sent off?
Gaza,
that's right. God, they were a top side then, mate. Top side, wasn't he?
Aye, I think Kloss was in goals for him, wasn't he? If I remember memory serves me, aye, they were a top team.
They're not going to win it that year.
I don't know. Runners and penalties and all. We beat them at Ibrox. And remember, it was 82 odds. Big Derek scored the header, didn't we? Beat them 2-0 at Ibrox. I remember being at that one. Yep. And then the one in penalties, we beat them 2-0 at Ibrox. And then we get beat 2-0.
Last minute goal, wasn't it? Was it a last minute goal?
It's near the end. I think we missed a chance. I don't know. I can't remember who missed it. Nearly fell to Barry Ferguson, but the usual Van Bronckhorst and Newman. And I think it was Cloudy Arena, maybe. I think he 3 missed in the penalty shootout. 99, 2000 or 2001.
What happened to that boy Van Bronckhorst? Did you ever hear from him?
Nah. What's he doing now?
I'll answer that one on Friday. Aye, interesting. Fox has come in. This is here. I think we'll need to get him drug tested tomorrow. He wants the 4 league games played at Hampden.
Sold it.
Brilliant.
Aye. Right, okay. But Alex, you're one of the most passionate but one of the most realistic Rangers supporters we have on here. Yeah, and I mean that as a compliment, yeah?
Thank you.
The fact that we're back on playing against top teams in Germany, have you thought about it, mate, where we were and where we are now?
It's unbelievable. Compared to where we came from, where we're going to be champions of Scotland Thursday night. It's remarkable. They've all spoke before exactly what happened there. 2012, everyone was absolutely pure numb, despaired the full lot, and we've gradually got there. It's took a bit of time, and we should be well pleased with ourselves now. There's always room for improvement, but the most important thing is that's us there. I just hope now for the coefficient that we've done the last 3-4 years that we can win the league, because I would absolutely hate it to think if other mob won the championship, especially the work that we've put in. And I hope that's incentive that Rangers has got, knowing if they win that league, it takes us back into the Champions League next year again. And we've got quite a good record against the Germans, as you've mentioned, and it will be a good game. But to be quite truthful, I'd be quite happy if we get a result. If we don't, it's not the end and be all, because to me the biggest games on Sunday against Dundee United.
Aye, that is, mate. You're right. It's more important. Yeah, this is a bonus, mate. This is if you like, a free hit, the European tie. Yeah, even though the directors might see it different if we could sneak through. Yeah. No,
you're right, Oxford. It's great for the profile of the club in Europe. We've done very well in the Europa Cup. We could go there and get a result on Thursday night. But what I'm saying, I'm really more concerned now that this league championship to me is the holy grail again.
Yeah. It always should be. I just want to cut across with you. I've been contacted for Albert, and this one's for you, Southside.
Aye.
Why don't we turn the Broomy into the Rangers away support only? And if they want a ticket for that place, they give up their seat at Ibrox in return.
That'll come for a gentleman who doesn't go to away games, but
any more. Aye, that's the problem, mate. We've as Alex rightly says. I mean, me and Alex were mid-30s and that. We're tough.
I'm not advocating to give them 7.5. I'm not saying that. I'm quite happy that we're getting 800. And like you say, you'll go into the ballot, and if you're lucky enough, you'll maybe get one, and I'll take my chance that way.
Oh.
So it's no great 800. It doesn't really improve the atmosphere that much, apart from Alex, if you were there when Katic scored, and they're all piling out that stadium, and you're sitting there and you're just giving it loudly, it was absolutely fantastic, man, for the half an hour we were in there before they let us out. Well, they were all piling out the grun, but you know what I'm saying, it has diminished the atmosphere a wee bit. Ibrox is great when it's full and everybody's singing every Saturday we follow, ripples right round the stadium. It's fantastic to hear, and it's great that the UB start at half, because if it wasn't for them, Ibrox would be like a morgue most weeks, Absolutely. If it isn't for that mob singing, Alex, Ibrox is silent, The Guffin started a song last week or something. No, they started a song. But try and get a song out the Copeland Road now and again, It's pretty pitiful.
They can't get a word done in the Bridgeman.
Sorry?
They can't get a word done in the Copeland Road for Bridgeman.
That's sitting in enclosure. But you're right, Southside. You can't see the atmosphere when you get away. Let's be quite truthful. I'm not talking about the Celtic game. I'm just talking about any game away. That was fantastic. The support, man. The Union Bears, man. Terrific everywhere they go. And all the young guys round about. The way support's fantastic, man. And you do enjoy your salute with them. No matter what age you're. If you can manage in that, you've got an ability to get there. It's well worth going to try it out again. I thoroughly enjoy it. I'm getting on in years. But I've got to thank my sons in that they've surely kept it going. Because at that time we got way back to 2012, and it was, I'm not ashamed to say it, by the way, I admit, I had a tear in my eye. And I found it really difficult. And I was going to the games in all the different leagues. And I was going out sometimes just after half time, and I'd go to Loudon for a pint. I'm not ashamed to say it, because I found it very difficult. Although I still gave my money to the club, but I found it very difficult to see where we landed and where we're to this day. And I thought all the times before it, I kept thinking about my late grandfather, my father, that brought me into Rangers football. And that's what we were watching in through all the divisions. And I struggled with it. And that's how I really stick up for all these young kids, by the way, because they really helped me in a certain way as well. Although I went to the games, but I used to leave. I found it quite difficult to watch David Temple and them getting kicked off the park there with different guys that wouldn't even probably could play amateur football. That's the depths we were. And look at us now, as I say, we're going in there on Thursday night, and what do you call it, the Europa as champions of Scotland. It's quite remarkable.
All right, okay. Jaffa's back with us. And just before we go back to where we are in this journey, can we just say that Old School Boy, and something that's quite close to his heart, is to say that the board have made some moves to help with a sensory room for some of the kids with autism, and it's very difficult it's a move in the right direction, and hope that can continue going forward, Jaffa. The riddle with the tickets and who goes where and who gets in to watch, I don't think we'll ever solve that one to everybody's satisfaction, will we?
No, we won't. And it's great to hear Alex's take on and his opinion, which I value incredibly. And I agree with you, Alex. We should look at the way let's not be kidding about it. All of us as Rangers supporters, every time you are an away game, which is every other week, we should value with away support like you can't believe, because these guys travel the length and breadth of the country, and they're up at daft o'clock in the morning, getting on buses and getting in cars and going all over the country.
You'll give somebody who's going to be in the airport for a certain time tomorrow a big heat. let's just say he's up 5 years earlier than he is normally.
But we all expect those flags, those Union Jacks, and those red, white, and blue, banners to be flying over the middle section of tiers of stands, because that's what we do as Rangers supporters. We travel all over the world. That's why we are what we are, and we are the club that we are. So we've got it's a fine balance of nurturing your away support and looking after them, and also looking after your home support. And I don't envy the club in finding that balance, to be honest with you. And that's kind of, I guess, where the club must sit in all of it. It's hard to keep them all happy, but we've got to try and do it. We've got to try and keep them all happy.
Don't mention my jers.
Don't even start with that.
That's what I threw it in.
I know you did.
A week in the lead. Oh, Davey, you've been sitting patiently listening. Had a couple of Maltesers, I think. And give us your view.
Well, so you young guys, I love listening to all you young guys, because I was brought up in a different era where you used to be able to jump out of turnstiles. If you tried that now, you got smacked right in the kisser. But everybody, you couldn't even tell what the crowd were.
If I could arrange it, it'd be allowed. Would you ever go to it?
Oh, no problem. Do you know what I remember? I went to a semi-final, like Hampden Park, Rangers. I can't remember who we were playing. I was about 14 at the time. And I says to this is when I knew my tea was out. I says to this guy, "Hey, Mr. Any chance you give us a lift there?" He says, "A lift there? You should be lifting me up."
Too many Maltesers, Davey.
No, I didn't like them then. I was a Mars Bar boy then.
But to be fair, mate, there was still rationing going on there. You shouldn't have been eating all these sweeties.
Not at all. That's when the sweeties were sweeties. A Mars Bar knows about the size here. It's not even half the size that they used to be.
Is that the real macaroon bar, Davey?
That was it. Get a macaroon bar and a spearmint chewing gum.
I remember cheesy meat rolls.
And
60 pence. 60
no,
pence in the way up.
There was no cheese on them, south side.
Oh man, he was a belter. I remember him.
Sweating.
Used to even had some left for the way home. He'd try and flog him on the football special for 20 pence and all that.
Those were the days. I
thought when you said Mars Bar, Davey, we're talking about 18 stitches or something.
No, it's Governor Hill I come from, no Brighton.
Oh, Bridgeman and Fox will be looking for you. Right,
no, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of Brighton. Don't worry about that.
Right, so look, I think let's come out of the show tonight. There's Dortmund there, and I think we have got a responsibility to help for the future of the club, but we've also got a responsibility to look after the young team, which are the future of the club. Does that make sense? Dortmund.
Can I ask CD 800? Where are their 800 gone? Are they getting in that corner? Is that what that takes?
I would imagine so, aye. Because you can get them in and out without affecting the rest of the crowd. Yeah.
Aye. Yep. I would never go to Parkhead. I would not give them one brown penny. I'd go to any stadium in the world, anywhere apart from there. And I know people talk about atmosphere, but I just would not finance that club at any point in my life. You know what I mean? That's just my view on it. But I know people will go in their thousands and love it. You know what I mean? But I just. They don't get my money, basically. You know what I mean?
You're not alone in that.
I wouldn't even go if somebody gave me a ticket.
Mm-hmm. It was quite funny how they all turned up at the opening of the Commonwealth Games. I thought that was quite ironic. That was just a personal view. Yeah, right, okay, but we have got a responsibility for the young team, Dortmund. We've got to look after the future of the club. We've got to get a balance right.
Of course, aye.
It's difficult, isn't it?
And I think before, as I say, when it was the younger ones, you used to they get their tickets took off them, did they know? Their season tickets to allow them into the room when that's what happened before it all stopped. or the families, you know what I mean? They all get their tickets removed. But and see away fans, brilliant, so they are, you know what I mean? Just what they do. Even the ones that come on this show, like, come away, we're doing for the Boat England, come up all the time. Amazing. You know what I mean? Hats after them. Tour Europe, go anywhere, you know what I mean? At conventions, brilliant. Just what a support, you know what I mean?
Aye, and you want the support to grow. You want the support to grow and flourish, and hopefully then we'll have to look at the stadium to make sure it can be bigger. But that's a pipe dream, Jaffa.
Oh, I would love that, Ox. Sometimes when I sit over in the sandy garden, or even sometimes when I'm in the enclosure, and I look up at our stadium, and I think we all do it as Rangers supporters, when you take your breath away, and you smell the atmosphere, you know, and especially big games, big European games, and big games in the league, and you look around it and you think, what if that stadium was another tier up? What if the corners were filled in over at, you know, the main stand going into the Brumlin and the Copeland Road end? You know, what would it look like with a roof on it? You know, when you look at the stadiums in Amsterdam and stuff like that, I would love that to happen at Ibrox, Ox. I'm not going to lie. I dream about that, and I think a bit like Denver on there earlier on, and I love his attitude. Well, there's, you know, we can do this anyway. You can engineer anything. It costs a lot of money usually, but you can certainly do it. But could Ibrox look, you know, would a new Ibrox be built there? What would happen? What's the future going to look like? And that's what being a Rangers fan's all about. We can dream about these things.
Aye, there's got to be a business plan for it, and everything's got to be laid out because you want to do things properly. That's important. Southside.
Aye, I think you're talking about increasing capacity. I don't know where we do it. If you could put something on top of the govern structurally, Jaffa and stuff like that, and maybe move it around a bit and do something. I don't know. If you're talking about Rangers, I think if you're talking about looking after the young team, like you said there, Ox, Rangers would probably say they are catering for the young team. We're getting a lot of families in, we're getting supporters back, we're filling our stadium up to 48 or 9,000, whatever it is in season books. I don't believe Rangers will like the hassle, I'll put it that way, of the away fans travelling. You know, I think it's just an inconvenience for them. You know, and I think the ticket situation doesn't help, but just everything that goes with it, same abroad. I think over the years and recently that they've lacked looking after the supporters abroad when they've travelled. So I think Rangers, find it merely a hindrance. I think if they could get people on their own flight and is that
because we're travelling supporting Europe so big compared to the vast majority of clubs, mate?
Aye, it would take a vast travelling support, but if it's 4,000 that's travelling, then obviously the price at what Rangers don't put a flight on for every game in Europe, so the vast majority of the supporters have to make their own way, travel or across different airports by train, by boat, whatever, fly into a country, then having to fly into our country and whatever. In the early rounds of Europe, Rangers don't fly any flights. So you're travelling all around Europe, and there's maybe 3,000-4,000 travelling. But I just think even in domestic games, I think it's just a hassle for Rangers to deal with tickets and try and look after the support. But I feel recently in Europe, we've not been getting looked after. Some people on the ground do look after you and help out, but I think it could be better. I'll put it that way. I think it could be better.
Can I jump in here?
Of course.
I said, do you think it's a lot to do with all the haters are out there sitting and they all jump on our away support with things that they just ignore the other supporters, you know what I mean? So maybe the club look like, well, what is the targets? We'll all go abroad, we'll all get drunk, we'll have a good laugh when we're abroad, you know what I mean, follow the Rangers. But sometimes some things get publicised that don't seem to get publicised for other clubs, and it's always us that get it, you know what I mean? Fair, for example. I mean, they're always targeting us, and we know why.
Don't get me started. Yeah. You know. Yeah. Maybe if they started.
So I think PR-wise, the club.
Maybe if they started at 5-year-old and put all the kids to the same school, that would be fair. But that's a whole different debate. Right, good point, though, man. Good point. Good debate tonight, Alex. Good debate. Good.
Excellent.
Good
Everybody's got their own opinion on it and that. Southside's right there about going abroad and that, you know. Normally when I go independently. So we usually fly to different destinations and that. Albeit I'm not going to Dortmund on Thursday, but in general, we go away. That's how we do it. Try and pick tickets up. It's not the ideal way, but we've managed it. Bromby was an absolute disaster. That's one of the worst trips of the full lot. We had about 12 tickets. Well, supposed to be tickets, and there was only 3 valid. So only 3 years get in. The other 9 guys were left sitting in Ibrox Bar. Not the Ibrox, but the Irish Bar there in Copenhagen. And that turned out quite nasty. And we do. When you travel away, he's right enough. It sometimes seems to be a bit too much hassle for Rangers, but that's what it's about. You go away grounds there in Scotland, and you look round about some of the stadiums and lying there half empty. Pittodrie's the biggest example of a lot. Rangers fans would just dive in there to get the tickets. This is what's going to happen. Because nearer coming to the end of this season, it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. Rangers fans will bother trying to get to these away games. That's just how it is. And it's always been like that. Away support's always been like that.
Yeah.
Ops, can I say something?
Aye, mate, of course.
Alex, see, like you're talking about in Bromby, right? Now, the bats went up to the Grun, right?
Yes.
And everybody arrives there at that wee bit where the shepherd is up, and then they were trying to ferry you in towards the stadium, right? Now, all I'm saying is you could have had other Rangers officials there to help with the police situation, and then could talk to the supporters so people weren't getting anxious and wanting to storm the gates, and people were getting a bit annoyed because you could tell the battens were going to come out. You could sense it was going to happen. Then when you're getting pinned against a wall and you've got a copper and riot gear standing 5 yards away from you and you're trying to say, here, mate, calm down, I can't move, I'm stuck against this wall. You know, Joe, and one of the boys did get a crack over the heat. Now, I'm just saying, if Rangers had put Rangers officials in there, whether it be Mark Gray, Greg Marshall and a couple other people, they could have made sure that people weren't going to get impatient. Everybody would have got to their turnstiles and would have got in before the chaos that happened before it. And that's my only criticism. It was diabolical, mate.
It was. You know that turnstile? There was only a gate that was open. And you take an S shape, you go in an S shape, and then you're along the wall. And that's when you get in. They'd only one wee bit of the gate open for you to let us in there. It was absolutely, you know yourself, you were there, it was absolutely diabolical. The Rangers officials there to help us. I mean, we walked up there, everybody walked up that street, Union Bears, everybody's on a laugh, the full lot, and then the next you see the riot police. And you knew yourself what was going to be happening. It was frightening stuff.
Yep, well,
that should be a bare minimum, shouldn't it? Sorry, that should be a bare minimum. There's officials there, and maybe on high-vis jackets in the polar snow there. You know what I mean? We're still clients. We might be away supporters, but we're still clients. We're paying clients here. Know what I mean?
Customers, mate.
Customers. Yeah.
Duty proper. Listen, there should be plenty of seats at Pittodrie. They had only 12,000 the other night.
Would they? All right.
That relegation clash ended one each. So anyway, right. So listen, thanks for your time. I hope you enjoyed it all, David. I hope you never ate too many Maltesers.
Yes, it was a great night, guys. Great night. Always remember, no one likes us. We don't care.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate. Dominic.
Just to say, I've got 30,000 tickets to the Piggery on Gumtree as we speak.
All right, cheers, mate. Alex?
Oh, fantastic show again. Thanks very much. And enjoy your trip south side. And hope we get a result Thursday night. Thank you.
Cheers, Alex.
South side.
Aye, mate. Enjoyed the show tonight and enjoyed being on with yourself and Jaffa. It was good to hear everybody's views, mate. And like I say, we've heard that there's going to be 800, so that'll keep some people happy, mate. And enjoyed the discussion with everybody, so thanks.
All right. Enjoy your alarm clock.
Thursday morning.
join your alarm clock. Jaffa.
Yep, thanks for having us on, Ox. Great being on with Southside. And all the other lads. Good debate, as Southside said. Great debate, actually. Always brilliant to talk to a fellow Bears. Thanks for having me on, Ox, and thanks to all the boys in the background.
All right, can I thank everybody who called in tonight? Everybody, some new callers, and Thomas and Davey, Alex, Southside, Jason, Bob J. Denver, Domarnock. Who have I missed out? I hope I've not missed anybody out. But Jaffa and Old School, Jaffa and Southside for doing the show, and of course Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. The boss, yes, the nice boss on the phones. Thanks for that. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow night with Linda. We'll be glad to know Davey and the one and only Albert. Stay safe. Speak tomorrow. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Ever since I recall, I have followed football, and ingrained in my heart are the Rangers FC. Through good and the bad times, of happy or sad, it will always be Rangers for me. That beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. And I vowed to my dad, if I would have a lad, I would show him the way, as he did on that day. And so here I stand with young Lyle by the after walking down Paisley Road West. For when I was a lass, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. There's a great sense of pride that I feel deep inside as I'm watching the Jazz with my father and son. And it's sure safe to say, at the end of the game, win or lose, we will all follow on. For when I was a lass, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life.